In a year and a half of being homeless and unemployed, God taught us some great lessons. Here is just one thing we learned. There in our battle of being homeless and unemployed, we had many emotions. We spent a lot of time scared. Our life was in turmoil, and it seemed like God wasn't listening, or at least I couldn't hear him. We wondered where God was. It seemed like everything was crumbling around us, and we didn't know which way was up half the time. Heck, we didn't even know what day of the week was. I know if I was confused, then the rest of my family must have been also. If I was scared, they must have been scared. It felt like everything was against us. Chaos raged, and I couldn't hear God anymore. He reminded me of the story in 1 Kings 19 when Jezebel was chasing Elijah, saying that she would kill him. He became scared. This mighty prophet of God, considered one of the greatest prophets of all time, who had worked miracles, who had slayed the prophets of Baal, and here he was, running from the threats of Jezebel. Elijah was scared. He was so scared that he ran into the wilderness and hid under a broom tree. As he sat there, he asked God to take his life. The pressure was so great that Elijah said he had had enough, and he prayed that God would kill him. After a good rest under that tree, Elijah retreated to an isolated cave. There he heard God call out to him on the mountain. At that moment, when God passed by, a great and mighty wind tore at the mountains and shattered the cliffs before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a voice, a soft whisper. Elijah heard the Lord speak softly in a whisper, then asked him, "What are you doing here?" Then God told him to go. God passing by created the chaos, but God wasn't in the chaos. I think it's a little bit like dealing with our kids. As our kids get louder, so do we, until we find ourselves screaming to get the kids' attention. When your kids stop screaming and turn their attention towards you, then you can speak in a quieter voice too, in order to give them the direction they need. Like Elijah, God had allowed the chaos to get my attention. The storm raged around me. The wind blew. My earth shook, and I was scared. I felt like my life was raging in the chaos of fire, and in that, I was looking for God, but I didn't find him there. But just like Elijah's story, God wasn't in the chaos. It was only when I slowed down, took my eyes off the chaos, and gave God my attention, that's when he redirected me. One of my greatest lessons that we learned was to kill the noise, to stop listening and paying attention to the chaos around us. Most of the noise around us, we had created ourselves anyway. It wasn't until we lifted our eyes away from the chaos and listened to God that we heard him speak. Maybe today you feel like your life is in chaos. Does it feel like the wind is raging about you? Does it feel like everything around you is shaken up and scattered about? Are the fires of your life burning and you find yourself overwhelmed? Will you pay attention to the words of 1 Kings when it said, God was not in the chaos? Stop, be quiet, kill the noise, listen to the silence. Maybe you can hear the whisper of God's voice. As always, we hope these short videos bless you. Be sure to like and share, and please feel free to comment and tag someone you know that might be encouraged by their message. We can't wait to cross paths with you again soon. Love you guys.